Evening, Vegas Sports Nation. Welcome to the Vegas Sports Scene. I'm your host, the Bat Fry, Kenny Fry. I hope everybody's doing well out there in podcast land. So let's get her kick started with a little bit of Raiders schedule. I wasn't on last week, so you see it scrolling at the bottom. That's where our topics will be from here on out. So I wasn't on last week. I was a little bit busy with work. So just letting you, I'm a little bit behind on everything right now. First comment, here it is. The birthday boy, Adam Glenn. Happy birthday, Adam. It was my birthday yesterday. Adam's birthday today. What's up, brother? Number one again, Adam. Check it in. And we got Joe Sullivan from the Sully Squad. What's up, Ken? What's up, Joe? How you doing? You can check Joe Sullivan out on the Sully Squad every Monday, 6 p.m., I believe it is, 6 or 6:30 p.m. here on Out of the Box Sports, and also Extra Innings on Tuesdays here on Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, 8 p.m. with Extra Innings, baseball talk. The Sully Squad. Love the Sully Squad. I always say it, besides all the guys on there are super smart, super knowledgeable about their teams, but just watching Joe chill out on that couch, he's rocking it, brother. He's rocking it. Love it. So Raiders schedule talk. I'm a little bit behind. Like I said, last weekend I was working. The Vegas sports scene, I know all the clamoring, people, where's my Vegas sports scene? I can't live without the Vegas sports scene. Where is it? So I had to make sure I'm going to be back this weekend and better than ever. Here we go. Adam says his birthday was on Thursday. I missed that, Adam. I'm sorry. My bad. Happy belated birthday, Adam. That's the thing about working night shift. You get your days all mixed up. You miss chunks of the day. You don't even know what the hell's going on sometimes. So Raiders schedule was released. All the schedules were released 2 weeks ago. Some surprises on there. I was really surprised about the amount of primetime games the Raiders got for a team that was, I think, 6-11 last year. To get 5 primetime games, I mean, it blew my mind. And then some oddball primetime games too. Usually, you can get a primetime game with like a division rivals or like one week 3. We have a Sunday night football game against Pittsburgh, something like that. We're not division rivals, but they're old school AFC rivals. So you kind of expect that. But a couple of these other ones, it's a very interesting, interesting scheduling and interesting being on prime times. All right, I got it. Dave Yarnell checking in. What's up going on, Big Ken? Cowboy Dave. Yeehaw. What's up, brother? You can check Cowboy Dave out Wednesdays on the Dem 215 boys talking Dallas Cowboy football. Wednesdays, I think it's 6:30 it is. So check Dave out on Wednesdays at 6:30, Dallas Cowboy football. Joe says Raiders usually has Pittsburgh. Yeah, and so it's funny in past seasons when I used to work at my old job, surrounded by Pittsburgh fans. In my new place, there's not so many, or they're just in hiding because they're not winning Super Bowls. I don't know, but back when they were winning Super Bowls with Big Ben and stuff like that, and doing really well. The Steelers would be like, I don't know, 9-3 or 7-1 or whatever. The Raiders were coming in with one win, and the Raiders would thump them, either in Pittsburgh or in Oakland. It didn't really matter. So the Raiders do have their number. Now, last season, Pittsburgh did come out on top, but it was such a wacky-ass game in the cold and the wind and stuff like that, and all the Derek Carr turnovers. That's kind of what sealed Derek Carr's fate, if you ask me, was that game there. How poorly he played in that weather game against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. But I feel like that's the game that sealed it for DC. That might have been his last game as a Raider. I don't remember if he played the following week or not. I remember, So Adam says, tell Mr. Belinsky you will not work on Saturday. Well, I would, Adam, but Mr. Belinsky is no longer in charge, so he has a different position. Joe says, you have any confidence on Jimmy G can manage some wins if the defense improves? Well, and so if the defense improves, now the thing with Jimmy G is Looking at his stats, the dude's a proven winner. I've said this past episodes. He's a proven winner. He wins wherever he goes. Wherever he goes, he has a top half of the field defense, meaning usually the defenses that he's playing for are usually top 15. He's not used to playing with a bottom 15 type defense. Now, if you look at Jimmy G's stats and compare them to Derek Carr's stats, the same amount of touchdowns, interceptions, Jimmy G's like 25 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 25 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. There's nothing spectacular about Jimmy G. He's just been fortunate enough to play with some pretty good defenses and some decent offensive lines as well. So, so we're going to see what Jimmy G's made of here. I do have some confidence in Jimmy G if the Raiders defense can improve a little bit. They don't need to be world beaters. I said this last season with Rob and I. The Raiders defense doesn't have to be top 10, top 5. Top 20. You take a top freaking 20 defense. You know what I mean? If you look at the points per game given up compared to points per game scored, it's so close that if you can just improve a little bit, that could put you over the hump. So it's a little bit improved. That's all he needs. I think if the Raiders defense can improve a little bit, there's enough weapons offensively, and the offensive line is okay enough. It's not good. It's not great. They played above their heads last season. You can see there was a couple games near the end where they played very, very bad. But overall last year they played much better than expected. The offensive line did, but the defense let them down so many times. So I think the offensive line, if they can stick to being okay to good, which I think they will be, I feel like they've gotten better. So he should be all right there. If we can, for the love of God, make Josh Jacobs happy, get him his contract. I think Jimmy G will be all right offensively. Defensively, that's where it's going to come down to. I think of defensively, if the Raiders can improve a little bit, I feel like Jimmy G can win some games. Joe also says pass rush should be better. And that a good running game, maybe Vegas surprises a little, maybe. And like I said, I think it was, I don't remember what show it was. If it was, I think it was College Football Frenzy when I was on the College Football Frenzy doing the AFC West. I said I could see the Raiders being like a 9-8, 8-9, somewhere in that range, like middle of the road. I could see that, which is an improvement. It's not a huge improvement. It's not where you want to be as a franchise. You don't want to be middle of the road, but it's better than 6-11. So, there he is, the mayor of Las Vegas. My co-host, Vegas Rob. What's up, brother? He says, what's up, Vegas Rob? Hey, the mayor in the house. Well, soon, the return of the Rob. The return of the Rob is upcoming very soon. Out of the box sports entertainment. Happy belated birthday to the Bat Fry. I am the man. That is correct. Thank you very much. 43 years young. I feel like I'm 80. So a combination of Fruity Pebbles and Night Shift. That'll make you feel old real quick. So we'll move on to the Raiders' actual schedule. I got her scrolling there at the bottom. It's a lot of jumbled together a little bit, but I'm going to read them off also. So week 1, we traveled to Denver at the Ponies. I hate the Ponies. I can't like that's. I don't like using the word hate, but Denver is an absolute team that I hate. I hate everything about them. I hate the people that play for them. Now, when they leave there, I'm cool with it. Like Tim Tebow. I got guff years ago when Tim Tebow was playing for Denver. I said, I can't stand it. I hate Tim Tebow. Oh, he builds hospitals for children. I said, I don't care. When he leaves Denver, then I'll care. I said, he's with Denver right now. I hate Tim Tebow. Then, as soon as he left Denver, hey, Tim Tebow's a great guy, practicing abstinence, whatever that's all about. Building children's hospitals and stuff. And, eventually he's a Met, at least in their farm system. Hey, Tim Tebow's a great guy. Not when he's wearing that blue and orange in Denver. When he's wearing a blue and orange in New York in baseball, fine. But not in Denver. So week 1, we traveled to the Ponies there in Denver. Should be an interesting game. I feel like Denver might Adam Glenn says the show needs a Rob. Thank you, Adam. This it's a lot more fun when Rob's right there. There's a spot for him right there where the Eiffel Tower is, just waiting for him. So yeah, I could, Denver's gotten better. Traveling to Denver, week one, I'm going to take an L on that one. That's I always look at division opponents, as most of the time they're going to split unless that divisional opponent's heads and feet above where we are. And I don't feel like Denver's that. So I always take the split. That's just, as much as it makes me want to throw up in my mouth. So I take the L to Denver because it's at Denver. Then we travel to Buffalo. Thank God we're not traveling to Buffalo in freaking January or something like that, because then it would be really, really bad. So we start off, pretty crappy here, because I think we take the L in Buffalo. Now, I think if Buffalo would have traveled to Las Vegas, I think that might be a different story. I think Buffalo might be a little bit overrated. They're dynamic, yes, but there's, it seems like last season they had a ton of holes in their game. And I feel like they can be had. So, exploited. Maiko Spencer says, as a birthday gift, will you please let the millions and millions of dedicated viewers know what's coming up on the greatest day of the year, June 16th? I can't wait. You know what, Paul? I can't wait either. Coming up on June 16th, The Flash is released, and it's Maiko's birthday also, but The Flash comes out. And also, we'll be releasing a new show. It's going to be a wrestling show called The Atomic Bomb. Remember the atomic knee drop, the atomic bomb? It's hosted by myself, the Bat Fry, and Cowboy Dave. I will be talking a lot of old school wrestling, some new school stuff, WWE, WWF. That's what I know. That's what Cowboy Dave knows. We might slip in some AEW or our TNA in there, but it's mostly like 99.9% WWE, WWF, old school, a little bit of new school. I started getting back into wrestling a couple months ago. Again, I've been a fan my whole life. Growing up as a kid, always watched wrestling. Teenager, young adult, Attitude Era, you had to watch then. Flipping between WWF and WCW, the Monday Night Wars and stuff like that. You had to watch then. And then a little bit afterwards, and then then with my wife now, we were dating then, so I kind of got away from wrestling a little bit. Then we got married, so I kind of started getting towards wrestling a little bit, and then I kind of steered away, then steered back. I used to take a vacation day every WrestleMania to watch it because it used to be on a freaking Sunday night. Now they do a full weekend of it, so I really don't need to take a vacation day. I can watch a little bit Saturday, but anyway, long story short, new show coming June 16th. Myself and Cowboy Dave hosting the Atomic Bomb Wrestling. 3 shows for the Bat Fry, the hardest working man in sports entertainment today. So back to the schedule. Super excited for the wrestling show. Back to the schedule. So we take the L. Oh, there it is. Eileen, I was thinking of you when I proposed this to Paul. I was thinking of you primarily. I know how much of a big wrestling fan you are, and also our boy here, Adam Glenn, huge wrestling fan. So I expect you guys to be on watching that every Friday night at 10:30 p.m. 10:30 p.m. every Friday night. So it's going to be after SmackDown. So you guys we can watch SmackDown and then get on and talk some wrestling. Maiko says, yes. Do you smell what the Out of the Box Sports Entertainment is cooking? Rob says Monday Night Wars were awesome. They were absolutely awesome. That's when wrestling, I think, was at its peak. I mean, I remember the 80s because I was an 80s baby. I was born in 1980, so growing up through the 80s. The wrestling then was awesome, but then Monday Night Wars just took it to a whole new level for the good and for the bad, but it's just a whole nother level there. Sean Kilrain, what's up, Sean? He says, what's up, Ken? Are you Jamaican? I'm Jamaican, man. No worries. Including his full-time job, Rob Hefner. There he is. Rob says 7:30 Vegas time, perfect. Adam says, I love wrestling. I know you do, buddy. You can check Sean Kilrain out on the College Football Frenzy. He's on there. I think College Football Frenzy's on hiatus right now until I want to say July, but stay tuned for that until the college football season starts picking back up and stuff like that, and rankings and all that good stuff. And he makes appearances on the Sully Squad on Mondays occasionally. So Sean bounces around. Our boy Sean Kilrain. All right, so week 1 and week 2, I have 2 L's already for the Raiders at Denver, at Buffalo. Then we have Pittsburgh coming in for our first primetime game, a Sunday night football game. Pittsburgh in Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. We know last year's game was so tight, so close. We got I want to say a whole different team, but we got a bunch of different players this time. And so I do like I think I like the Raiders in this one. At home, first home game of the season. Prime time isn't the best time sometimes, but historically the Raiders used to be very good on Monday Night Football historically. But I'll take the Raiders with this one with a win, make us 1-2. Eileen says, what day time will this new show be? So June 16th. That's also the same day that the Flash is coming out. My feelings towards the Batman. So so the Flash comes out that day. Also, that's also Paul Spencer's birthday, Maiko Spencer's birthday, and June 16th, 10:30 p.m. That's it. So it'll be every Friday night after that, and we're gonna have lots of fun with it. I'll tell you that. Cowboy Dave, we're gonna be rocking and rolling. And so all right. So after we spank Pittsburgh on Sunday Night Football, and we'll travel week 4 to the Los Angeles Chargers, to the Bolts, and I think that's a win for us. We always travel. The fans always travel well to Los Angeles. We always play well in Los Angeles, so I'm going to take a win with that at the Chargers. So we're up at 500 there. Eileen says, ooh, so we can watch AEW Rampage while the show is on. I guess. I'm not sure what time Rampage is on. I don't watch AEW. I tried a couple times, but I'm not into it enough yet to where I feel like I want to watch AEW. I remember when TNA had the 6-sided ring. I used to watch that a little bit because it was kind of weird looking. But I from everything that you hear from wrestlers, that 6-sided ring was a backbreaker. So it's a very hard mat. I guess, I don't know, the construction, like how it's constructed differently than the square besides having extra sides. But I like, does it have to be harder because of the extra sides? I know usually the end of the mats, the end of the 4 sides are the hardest parts of the mat. But, 6 sides, I guess maybe add 2 more sides, it makes it even harder. There it is, the Fry Foundation. That's one of the names that I proposed, Rob, the Fry Foundation, but the Atomic Drop podcast. That's what it is. The Atomic Drop, not the Atomic Bomb, the Atomic Drop. That used to be one of my favorite moves when I was a kid growing up, was the Atomic Drop. They'd pick the guy up and they'd drop him on his rear end on their knee, and they'd grab their ass and dance around. So there was also that one that was a stretch. I couldn't remember the name of it. It was they used to reach around, and the guy would be stretched out like that. I can't remember what the hell that was called, but I always thought that was a neat move. So yeah. So I see us. I can see a win at the Chargers. Like I said, we travel well to LA. We usually play well against the Chargers. Period. But in LA, I feel like we always play well. We always have a great following in LA. Even though the Chargers are I think they're for a real team. So their fan base should be bigger. But whenever you watch a Chargers Raiders game in LA, it's a lot of silver and black there. So that takes us to week 5 and our next primetime game, Monday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers. Kind of an odd thing there. I think I could be wrong, but I think the last time the Raiders played the Packers on a primetime game might have been Monday Night Football. I think that was the Brett Favre when his dad died and he decided to throw 10 touchdowns against us. I don't know. It wasn't quite 10, but it felt like 10, I'll tell you that. And everybody's like, oh, he did it for his dad. It's like, oh, come on, Brett. You're killing me, dude. Take the night off. Anyway, but so against the Packers, I could see that being a win. Davante Adams going against his old team. Who knows what the Packers got going on there at quarterback? If he's going to be real or not. I can't think of his name right now, but we all have got a damn fly here in front of my face is driving me nuts. It's starting to warm up, so you get a fly. The door's been open all day, dogs in and out, so there's a fly in the house, and I'm this close to snapping. I'm this close. He's buzzing my ear. He's landing on my face, and I'm trying to talk, and all I can think is you podcasters watch like, oh, the dude got a fly on his forehead. Anyway, Rob Ezers maybe can have Jared Deal on to talk about his pro wrestling debut. Jared Backdraft Deal. I don't know who that is. To be 100% honest with you, Rob, I'm going to have to look that up. I know the Deal last name in the area, and Adam helps me out. Thank you, Adam. Jordan Love. I could not remember his name. I could picture him. That's always how it works. I could see the dude. Just can't think of his name. So I could see us beating the Packers there. Monday Night Football. Raiders after week 5 be 3-2, above 500. I like that. Then the following week 6, we have New England at home again. And we all know what happened last year with the with the end of the game whoopsie, when they threw it back to the quarterback and Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones, I think he caught it right, and then just trucked that poor Mac Jones, and that was Chandler Jones' highlight for the season. We won on the last play there. I'm gonna go. I think a loss for this one because we won last year. I'm gonna go loss. That puts us at 500. Rob says he's wrestling for a local promotion back there. Oh, okay. Yeah, I had a couple ideas for some local guys that are in the indie wrestling scene here. Oh, that fucking fly is killing me. And but I never heard of him, so I'll have to look him up and reach out to him. Rob also says, I'll send you a Facebook video. It's his cousin's husband. All right. So after 6 weeks, the Raiders are 3-3. The way I'm looking at it, then we travel to Chicago week 7. That's going to be interesting. They got a super mobile quarterback if he's healthy, but not much else. So we'll have to see how they, built their team this year out throughout free agency and through the draft and stuff like that, if they're any better than what it was last year. I'm going to go win at Chicago after week 7. So that puts us at 4-3. Then week 8, we travel to Detroit. And that's our next primetime game, Monday Night Football. That's what I said about like an oddball kind of primetime games here. Primetime against the NFC North Green Bay Packers, Monday Night Football. Then a couple weeks later, primetime against another NFC North team, Detroit Lions. So it was, kind of surprised to see that, but, very, very like odd pairings for a primetime game. But, I'll take it. I love the primetime games. Even though I'm at work when they're happening, I still record them and I go back and I watch them. It's nice fast forwarding through all the bullshit, the commercials and halftime nonsense and whatever. And getting to the plays, fast forwarding between plays and stuff. So that's I like that. That's fun. At Detroit, Monday Night Football. Detroit, much improved. I'm gonna take a loss with that one. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't like taking a loss there, Monday Night Football, but that's what I think is going to happen. Because Detroit, it depends on what Detroit team shows up. If the Detroit team shows up that was dynamic last year, for a lot of their games, if that team shows up, you could see Detroit, winning a lot of games this year. But there's also some games there where the Detroit didn't show up. They just left super clunkers out there, like kind of like what happened to Detroit that was putting up 34 points the week before, whereas this Detroit team's putting up 14, 17, or 20. So so I think a lot of that's going to depend on where the Raiders defense is at that point, and if they're able to limit Detroit's offense, because I think the offense is their biggest part. And I like their coach. Was it Dan Campbell? I believe so. I believe Dan Campbell's their coach. Super intense guy. I like it. I like an emotional fella. I'm an emotional guy. I'm not afraid to show my anger, like this fly that's pissing me off. I'm angry at him right now. I'm not afraid to show that. I'm not afraid to show my sensitive side. There is a sensitive side, believe it or not. It's there. My funny side. That occasionally comes through once in a while. My singing side. I sing on almost every damn show. So I got all sorts of sides, like the 6-sided ring at TNA, the old 6-sided ring. That's me. All right, so after that Detroit loss, let me go through a couple of comments here. Andy Header, yep. Andy Header, look him up. He's I grew up with Andy Header, actually, Adam. We grew up in the projects together. We used to wrestle around, but he's an indie wrestler, been doing it for years. Rob says it is a strange matchup for primetime, but I'm with you. Love primetime. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, take the primetime. Whenever you can get it, because normally the Raiders might get one. That's usually a Thursday night game, maybe a second one. I think last year we had one, but they took it from us at the end of the season. There, we were what is that the word for it? It wasn't optioned out. It was anyway. We were optioned out of it. They had at the end of the season they put the better teams, like a better matchup that has playoff implications. Those teams will usually play the primetime game then later in the season. Eileen says I'm the jack of all trades. Yes, I am. And Rob Hefner says Andy Header is the shit. Andy Header is the shit. Yeah, I agree. I wish Andy would watch the show, then he would know he's the shit. But I'll have to tell him later on. Anyway, so back to the schedule here. So after Detroit, Monday Night Football, we take the L. Fly back home. We should be on a bus, because we're sitting at 4-4 at this point. We should be just taking a bus. To help. We don't deserve to fly. Take the goddamn motor coach back, but no, we'll fly. You got to pamper these guys. Back home in Week 9, we play Big Blue, the New York Giants. That should be a fun week because we'll work something out with the Big Blue Power Hour. Either Rob and I will go to their show. Or actually depending on if I work or not that weekend, or they could come to our show or both. I don't know. It'd be like the same show back-to-back days. But anyway, so anyway, we'll get together with the Big Blue Power Hour, and Evan, Dan, and Stacy, and we'll get something cool there to do together. Rob says, put them on the old Greyhound. Yeah. At that point, you have 4-4, sitting at 4-4. Take the Greyhound back. So first the Giants, Week 9 at home. Giants a pretty good team. I think I'm going to take – oh, man, I hate that. I'm going to take the L with the Giants as well. Playoff team last year. I think they're better. I like Danny Dimes. I don't care what people say about him. I think there's a lot of potential there. He's mobile. I feel like he throws well. He just fumbles the ball every once in a while. Rob says, I'm going to try to go to the Giants game. That'd be awesome. Yeah, get to the Giants game. Adam Glenn says, loss. Stacy, I just mentioned your name, Stacy, and she appears. That's amazing. I was just talking about the Raiders and Giants game. I said, may the Big Blue Power Hour and the Las Vegas sports scene get together Week 9 next year or this upcoming season, and we'll have to do something cool, something special between the shows. And I picked the Giants to win the game, but when that show comes around, I'll pick the Raiders to win because when it's game time, the Raiders win every game in my head. But I'm trying to be I'm biased here. I'm trying to be professional podcaster. That's what I'm trying to do. And, straight down the middle. And so week 9, we lose to the Giants, puts us at 5-4. And you can check Stacy out if you didn't know already every Friday night, 8 p.m. on the Big Blue Power Hour. As she pops back in there, says, "Let's go Giants." Oh, gee, man. And so then after we play the Giants, we stay home, and the other New York team comes out, the New York Jets, for another primetime game, Sunday Night Football. We got the Jets-Raiders. Jets, very young, very talented, with an old quarterback now, Aaron Rodgers. What does he have left in the tank? What does the man have left? I think a lot. Some people don't think a lot. So what are the Raiders going to do against the Jets? Can they rebound after losing 2 straight? Monday Night Football to the Lions and then to the Giants at home. Can we rebound? Can we do it? If not, we're going to start swirling down the toilet drain. I mean, the Jets have high hopes. They looked good some points last year. Defense was awesome all season. They just couldn't put points in the goddamn board. The quarterback was too busy chasing mothers around MILFs and stuff like that. So what happens against the Jets? Sunday Night Football. Do we win or do we lose? Do the Jets send us to our 3rd straight loss? I think Eileen says the Jets. And I agree with Eileen. I think the Jets will beat the Raiders on Sunday Night Football. 3 straight losses, back-to-back home losses. Everybody's talking, when are we going to fire Josh McDaniels? When are we going to do it? Dave Ziegler needs to go. All that talk's going to be happening. And Mark's going to be like, oh, I'm not firing Josh McDaniels. That was the mistake before. I fired all these coaches, blah, 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 too soon. Hurt Derek's development. I'm not doing this to our Garoppolo kid. Who knows? Aiden O'Connell might be starting by then. Or Garbers, Blaine Garbers. Or even worse, Brian Hoyer. Or some other Patriots quarterback that we have out there. Rob says Raiders-Jets game could be a great game. You know what? And they always do play each other really, really well. No, I shouldn't say that. The last game I went to was in New York against the Jets, and the Raiders lost. I think it was 34-3, 34-0. And I was up in the nosebleed section with my Aunt Kim, and it was raining all day. We had fun, though. We a little bit of a little snifter in the parking lot, and snifter of ale. And we had a good time. It wasn't a fun game to watch. It was over quick. A lot of the Raider fans acting like idiots up there where we were sitting, yelling to the Jets fans, "Oh, at least we're going to be in the playoffs." I said to my wife, "These dumb shits don't know there's still half a season to play. There was still like 7 or 8 games to go." Like, I don't remember what our record was at the time, but we weren't like world beaters. We weren't like ahead by 6 games or nothing like that. So these morons think we're going to the playoffs. We just lost 34-0 to the Jets. Let's just say we didn't make the playoffs. Anyway, I'm getting all sweaty and annoyed again. But historically, I feel like they do play well against each other. We also have the hot dog game, Mark Sanchez. Now I'm thinking about it. So you know what? The hell with it. When it's in the playoffs, the Raiders spank the Jets. Regular season, it seems like the Jets have been spanking the Raiders lately. But I remember Mark Sanchez in Oakland, throttling the Raiders and eating hot dogs on the sideline. Everybody made a big deal out of it. I'm like, dude put up 30 or 40 points on the Raiders. Yeah, he's hungry. I would be hungry. I was hungry watching it. My team was getting their asses spanked. Adam says, you in New Jersey. Yes, I was in New Jersey. I think it was you were in New Jersey. I was in New Jersey. Actually, I'll be in New Jersey again this year for softball, though. So after the Jets, we travel to Miami. Again, a team that we cannot beat. We have a hard time against Miami. No matter what their record is, what our record is, it's always a struggle against Miami, except for this year. We're going to rebound against Miami. We're going to turn the season around. We're going to circle the wagons, as Chris Berman used to say about the Buffalo Bills. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Well, nobody circles the wagons like the Las Vegas Raiders. If the Raiders had wagons, maybe the ships. Nobody circles the ships, the boats around. Yeah, we'll go with that one. So I think we're going to beat Miami in Miami, which does not happen often. So that puts the Raiders after Week 11 at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins and 6 losses. So we're at 5-6, one game under 500 after week 11. All right. Things are still plenty of football to go yet. But then we have Kansas City coming in, our first bout with Kansas City for the season, which we play very, very tough. We just seem to come out on the wrong end against. But this year, I feel like we're going to beat Kansas City. I feel like something's going to turn for the Raiders. So I have us beating Kansas City at home into the bye week. So that puts us at 6-6 going into the bye week, week 13. We got a few games left. Can the Raiders make a run at the playoffs? Can the Raiders do it? Can they make a run at the playoffs? Rob says, I like a good spanking, however, not by the Jets. Yeah, by their quarterback. What's his name? Zach Wilson. He'll give you a spanking. So before I move on to the last couple games here, I'm going to go ahead and give a sponsor shout out here. First sponsor I'm going to mention, Monkey Colt Coffee. Of course, I always mention Monkey Colt Coffee on my social media pages. I love Monkey Colt Coffee. The bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee was the first one I got. Fantastic. Even better was their new flavor out there, toasted coconut rum. Out of this world. Everybody that I recommended it to that bought it says that toasted coconut rum is fantastic. They love it. They're going to buy more. So yeah, if you're going to check any of them out, check the toasted coconut rum out. Like I said, absolutely amazing. Also, they do sell some T-shirts, coffee mugs, tumblers, travel tumblers, cold brew pitcher, which I also have. I tried the bourbon chocolate chip with cold brew. Next time I get some toasted coconut rum, I'm going to try that cold brew. Also, they have a K-Cup adapter for the K-Cup machines. So lots of stuff there in the Monkey Colt Coffee store at monkeycoltcoffee.com. And when you do purchase something at checkout, make sure you put in our promo code OOTB Sports for a discount. That's OOTB Sports for a discount for 10% off. And the owner, Matt, also donates 10% of each sale to the National Pediatric Foundation. So they also have a mission statement, and their mission statement is, we lost someone very close to us to cancer in 2019. Robin Ray Larson, our cult has made it our personal mission to honor and remember her by helping others. For every bag of Monkey Colt coffee sold, we will be making a donation to the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation in her name. You can see her sweet little face there. And so make sure you buy some stuff so they donate some money to the National Pediatric Foundation. It's nothing like a poor sick kid. It breaks your heart. And like the first time I had to read that, like I said, I kind of voice is cracking. It was hard for me to get through because whenever I hear about stuff like that, sick kids, I immediately think of my kids and how I would feel going through stuff like that. So head over to monkeycoltcoffee.com. Purchase some coffee, and use our promo code OOTB Sports, and also help out the kids. All right, that's back into the zone here. Got a comment here before I get to the second half of the season. The mayor says Monkey Colt Coffee Company is phenomenal. Absolutely. Yeah, terrific. Like I said, that toasted coconut just out of this world. So week 14, after the bye week, we have week 14. We have Minnesota Vikings coming in. So we're obviously playing the NFC North this season. We've gone through all of them, but we got the Minnesota Vikings coming in. It's not a primetime game. So usually what happens is Kirk Cousins seems to play a lot better on non-primetime games during non-primetime games. But maybe Kirk Cousins isn't even playing by that point. Who knows? Excuse me. So, can the Raiders win their third game against the Minnesota Vikings? Can they do it? I think they can. I like the Raiders beating Minnesota in Las Vegas. Putting us at 7-6. And then that takes us to week 15. Rob says Rob is not a believer. Rob says loss. I disagree, Robert. So that takes us to week 15 versus the LA Chargers. That's in Vegas, Thursday night football. Can we win 4 in a row? No. I feel like we're going to lose this one. Another primetime loss. That would be 3 primetime losses out of 5 primetime games. It is what it is. We're a 500 team, so that's kind of where you expect it to be anyway. We beat the Chargers in Los Angeles, so you figure Los Angeles is going to come back and take one in Las Vegas. So, like I said, usually when I feel like the teams are somewhat even or somewhat close, I like to split the divisional games because the rivalries, all that good stuff. But if they're head above everybody else, I don't usually like. I think last season when we did the schedule breakdown, I think I gave Kansas City. I might have given Kansas City both the wins. I don't remember now. So I feel like Kansas. No, you know what? I picked Kansas City to finish poorly last year. So no, I feel like Kansas City had too much roster turnover. But what the hell do I know? They only win the Super Bowl, so I just do this for fun. So week 16, we have traveling to Kansas City. We beat them at home. I have them beating the Kansas City in week 12 at home. So week 16, a couple weeks later at Kansas City, they're looking for revenge. It's cold in Kansas City. It's loud in Kansas City. And it's a loss in Kansas City. So that's back-to-back losses now after 3 straight wins. So that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 and 7. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. 7 and 8. That puts us at 7 and 8 with 2 games to go, and we travel to Indianapolis. That game is going to be tough to call. Also, not knowing 100% what they got going on with their roster. They were not very good last year when I thought they would be good last year. Rob says the Kansas City game is also on Christmas. You know what? I thought so, Rob, but I forgot to look at the dates of these games. I did feel like one of these games were on a holiday, but I wasn't sure which one it was. Not which holiday and which game it was. I should have looked it up before, but I didn't. Bad host. So we traveled to Indianapolis, and I think I think we're going to take a win there. Not knowing a whole lot about what Indianapolis got going on, I feel like we could take a win there on the road. And then we have Denver at home. We lost to Denver at Denver. Denver at home, last game of the season. A lot of people beat up. I think the Raiders come out with a win on that one. So let's see where we're at here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 wins and 8 losses. So that's kind of where I figured it would be. Raiders would be 9 and 8, 8 and 9, somewhere in that area. Around 500, they'd be playoff contention for some of the season. They'd be out of it, they'd be in it, they'd be out of it, they'd be in it. But better than last season. Not quite where they want to be yet, but better. So I feel like Jimmy G is going to have a Jimmy G type year. Low 20s touchdowns, double-digit interceptions, 10, 11, 12, 13, somewhere in that area. Hopefully you just run the ball a lot. That's what I'm pulling for. Rob says, I have an excuse to wear my Raiders game to your Raiders jersey to Christmas dinner. I just wear my underwear and a tank top. I said, hell with it. It's not going to end well anyway, Christmas dinner. Usually ends with me with gravy in my beard and pie on my nose. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying right now. So 9 and 8, that's not too bad. Every Raider fan wants it to be better, but being realistic, looking at it, that's how I see it shaping out. That could change throughout the year. As we get closer and stuff like that. As the roster takes shape, guys, some of the rookies, stepping up and stuff like that. See who's going to emerge as a starter, who has a chance to emerge as a star. Will Jimmy G be standing by week 5? Yeah, I think so, Rob. Like I said to Sully earlier, I feel like the Raiders' offensive line played better than expected last season, and I feel like they can do the same. I feel like they got a little bit better. So, middle of the road offensive line. So I think Jimmy G will be standing. He's not going to be 100%. I think he is going to take some hits. There are going to be some games where he is on his back a lot. But, that's what we got the run game for. And Rob, if you remember last season early on, one of the things I kept bringing up week after week, loss after loss, was why is Josh Jacobs only running the ball 10 times, 11 times? Like, what in the hell are we doing with Josh Jacobs? He was running the ball 10, 11 times for 50, 60 yards. Why is he not running 20 times for 130, 140 yards? Get it out of the quarterback's hand, grind that defense down, wear them out, and go from there. But we didn't do that until a little bit later in the season. And then even after that, a few of our losses, a few of the games, Josh Jacobs was limited in carries. So if you're going to limit Josh Jacobs in carries, you have to run somebody else. The running game as a whole, needs a lot more than 15 carries. 15 to 20 carries. You should be looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of like 25 to 30 carries, in my opinion, anyway. Not just for your starter, but for everybody in the backfield, for whoever else is going to be running the ball. Rob says, get Jacobs the damn ball. Yes, sir. Get Jacobs the damn ball. So that's the schedule for this upcoming season. I like the schedule. I like the fact we got 5 primetime games. I'll take it. I don't like the Thursday night footballs on the Prime. We do have Amazon Prime anyway. And so, I mean, that's not the issue. It's just, it seems to go in and out. It freezes a little bit. It's just I'm not a huge fan of the Prime. All right, so we'll move on to the next topic, which is Davante Adams. Davante Adams is a little bit annoyed. I guess that's what you hear. Davante Adams is a little bit agitated because he said he did not expect the team to be going in this direction. But it is what it is, he said. It's I think it's been blown out of proportion what he said, basically. After I read his quotes a couple times, he said he didn't expect the team to be where it's at today, heading in the direction that it's going. He said his main thought coming to Las Vegas was he's coming here to win a Super Bowl. He's not coming here to look cute, play nice with Derek Carr, which, they were, teammates in Fresno and good friends and stuff like that. It was great playing with his teammate for a season, but that's not why he came to Las Vegas. He's a Raiders fan growing up, supposedly, and all that good stuff. So he figured he'd come here to win a Super Bowl, bring a Super Bowl to Las Vegas. And, he said that's still his goal. And he said he has to be as optimistic as possible with the roster as it is right now. And that's where it's at. So he said you don't know with the amount of roster turnover that we did have with the tight ends and stuff like that, Foster Moreau and Darren Waller and Derek Carr and stuff like that. Some of the defensive players let go or not re-signed, which is not a loss, because the defense is shit anyway. But you don't know where you're standing. The amount of wide receivers brought in, also like Jacoby Myers and stuff like that, drafting a wide receiver, what's going to happen with Hunter Renfrow. I did see NBC Sports report that the Raiders could trade Davante Adams after June 1st. So what you do then is you click on that, and it says this is what it would look like if the Raiders decided to trade Davante Adams after June 1st. So there's no sustenance. There's no story to it. They're just like poking a bear is what it is. Like they're kind of like they're walking up to the Bees Nest and rattling and see what kind of Raiders fan they can get to click on there, like me. Like, what's this all about? Or they're going to trade Davante Adams? Or not even read it at all. Just look at the headline, go to the Twitter box, and just start spreading shit rumors everywhere. Oh, the Raiders are shopping Davante Adams. That's not what's happening. It's you read the article. If you click on, you read their jerk-off article. It says that if the Raiders were to trade disgruntled Davante Adams, which reading its quotes, I didn't see anything disgruntled. I see honest. I see honesty. He didn't see the roster turning out that way. Who the hell did? Who's seen Darren Waller getting traded to the Giants? I said I could see him getting traded, but I was thinking Packers. I didn't see him going to the Giants. And I also thought they'd keep Foster Moreau. I mean, I didn't see them picking up Jacoby Myers. Like there's a whole lot of the roster's surprising where it's at. He should be surprised. Everybody's surprised by it. So I just feel like he's being honest. There was no disgruntledness there. Like he said, not just he came here to win a Super Bowl for Las Vegas, not to just be cute with Derek Carr. I mean, yeah. Okay, that doesn't sound disgruntled. That sounds pretty honest. Like that's not why you go to a new team, a new job, is to be cute or to play nice with your old best buddy. It's to win, to produce. So, one of the things he said he wanted to prove that he didn't need Aaron Rodgers to be a Pro Bowler, and he was right, or an All-Pro. He was right. He didn't need Aaron Rodgers to be an All-Pro. He had, I think, fewer receptions, but I think he had more yards with Derek Carr, and I can't think of his name now. The backup quarterback the last couple games. Maiko Spencer says, I can't wait to see baby Gronk, Mr. Mayor. Huge future for him. I don't know if he signed yet. I know all the Raiders, last time I seen it, I think it was last week, all the Raiders rookies signed except for him. I'm not sure if he signed yet. Jarrett Stidham, thank you very much, Maiko. I couldn't even picture him. Usually I say, I could see the guy in my head, but I can't think of your name. I couldn't even picture him in my head. So, now that I see his name, I can see him in my head, but it's like a movie projector. It's like in my head's like a silent film. I get these images, but I can't speak it. That's a pretty good analogy. I like that one. So yes, I have no problem with what Davante Adams said. There's also another one saying, could Davante Adams be heading back to Green Bay? I'm like, what the hell is that about? So I click on it, and it says that he's still in touch with his old coach and GM in Green Bay. I'm like, so what? He was their coach. He was Davante's coach and stuff like that. I mean, like, what's the big deal? And Davante said if they didn't shortchange him, he'd probably still be in Green Bay. Like, well, yeah, if they would have offered him more money, he would still be in Green Bay. It's like, I don't understand what the story is there. It's nonsense. It's clickbait, they call it. Sean Kilrain says, I saw some news, Jacobs getting traded to the Bills. But that's the other thing. With Josh Jacobs not signing his franchise tag yet, who knows, what's going to happen with him. I heard rumors about him getting traded after June 1st. So we're going to have to wait and see. I think Buffalo is in the market for a running back. I could be wrong, though. I think that's one of the positions that they were kind of hurting in. But whether or not that's for Josh Jacobs, I didn't see anything on that. The other founding member of the Fry Foundation, Brother John Fry says, LOL. All right. John's in love with Jimmy Garoppolo. John's a 49er fan and Alabama. But Kenny the Snake Stabler, Raider great from Alabama. Alabama. So that's my thoughts on Davante Adams. I don't have a problem with what he said. I feel like he's just being honest, so whatever. It is what it is. Eileen says Jimmy G is so hot. He is a handsome fella, I ain't gonna lie. Better looking in DC, but we'll see how much that tight ass gets him in Las Vegas if he's not winning. John Fry says there will be only one team in LV, and that's the A. We'll talk a little bit of A's in a little bit here. I got some news on the Athletics. Brother John's also an Athletics fan, so at least used to be. I'd be wearing a paper bag on my head right now if I was an Athletics fan. I don't even know if they got the double-digit wins yet. I'd have to look. Last I heard it was 9, and that was a couple days ago. So if you're betting money on baseball, you want to bet against the Oakland Athletics. You have a good chance. All right, so we'll move on from Davante Adams to move on to the Golden Knights here. The Oilers' well runs dry. I'm telling you what, I did not see this coming. I picked the Oilers go to the Stanley Cup. I felt like their offensive talent was way too much for anybody to really compete with. They were so hot at the end of the season, and I just didn't think that anybody would be able to keep them down. You know, for a couple games, yeah, like the Kings did. The Kings lost them in Game 6. I just didn't see. I seen the same fate for the Vegas Golden Knights. I could see a Game 6, a Game 7, and that was it. But they came in and they shut their asses down. I mean, the first couple games, Draisaitl was still hot. The Stars were still kind of out for the Oilers, and they shut them down. I'll tell you what. Adam Glenn says, "Good luck, John." North Schuylkill. My niece is a freshman in high school, and she has a playoff game this Tuesday night. Well, I guess afternoon, 4:30 in the afternoon. District playoff game for North Schuylkill is a local high school here. Freshman, she was starting in third base the last couple games in the Schuylkill League playoffs. So yeah, good luck to her and the North Schuylkill Spartans, and I hope she hits a couple home runs. Hit it for sick little Kenny here. Hit 2 home runs for sick Kenny, like Babe Ruth did for the sick boy in the hospital. John Fry says, really for the A's? Yeah, really. I think they only have like 9, maybe 10, but it's not a lot of wins. They're easily the worst team in the league. They are tanking. I'll tell you, John. I'll tell you what. If you're still watching this here, I'll tell you what. You know what the A's are doing? We've seen this before. Everybody watching the podcast now, listen, the A's, they're doing what the lady in the first major league was doing. She's trying to get the team so bad. The A's are trying to get their team so bad that they have to move out. The attendance so low that they have to move out. That's what they did in Oakland. They watched the movie Major League and they're like, shit, why didn't we think of that? They did this back in the 80s. We're going to do this today. That's what the Oakland Athletics did. That's exactly 100% what the Oakland A's did. The only problem was the Oakland A's didn't have Sweet Lou Brown as their manager. Oh, I don't know. I got another guy on the line looking for some white walls, whatever it is. You know what I mean? So they copied Major League, and so it's we've seen this before. So. There's no Pedro Serrano there on Oakland. There's no Jake Taylor or Ricky the Wild Thing Vaughn or Roger Dorn. There's a bunch of Roger Dorns there. I'll tell you that right now. Joey P. Wood, let's go Dallas. One of the biggest Eagles fans here saying let's go Dallas. John Fry's 10-37. Yeah, that's Oakland 10-37. That's how bad they are. They are bad, really, really bad. Joey P. Wood says, I'm just busting balls. Would love to see the Knights. Oh, you're talking about Dallas. Okay, I got you. Dallas, the Stars, because I was talking about Golden Knights. There we go. I'm just busting balls. Would love to see the Knights bring a cup to Vegas. Yeah, you know what? I would too. It's amazing what the Knights have been able to do with their short existence. I think they've made the playoffs, I think 6. Was it 4 of their first 6 seasons now, or is it 6 of their first 8 seasons? I'm not sure how long they've been around. But they're perennial. They're almost like I don't want to say powerhouse, but they're basically a powerhouse. They've been in it every year. Last season they just missed the playoffs by a game or two, but besides that, it's almost every season they've been in. They've made it to the Stanley Cup their inaugural season. So it's they've been here before. They're well seasoned. So the series against the Edmonton Oilers. So what it came down to, from what I saw watching it. I felt like they shut Draisaitl down. They shut the other stars down. They let Connor McDavid do his thing. Connor McDavid still got his goals, still got his assists. But I think after game 2, I think Draisaitl only had 1 point, and it was an assist. I think after game 2, you didn't hear much from Evander Kane. I think it was 1 point. Nugent Hopkins, he started scoring a little bit more. but not at the rate Draisaitl was to keep the Oilers in games. So basically, they just shut down the other stars. They let McDavid do his thing. And McDavid's fantastic. I don't care who you are. Like hockey, don't like hockey. You gotta watch Connor McDavid. The dude is so good. It's almost a crime that he hasn't won a cup yet. I think he's been in the league 8-9 years. But the dude is just fantastic. Easily the best player in the league. Easily. There's no reason why he shouldn't be a unanimous MVP. The dude's just on another level. The speed, the passing, the shooting. Like when they needed a goal, he was always the one he just bring it up himself, weave it in out of 3 or 4 people and just you shoot it and score. It's amazing. I'm a Kings fan. But I do root for the Golden Knights. Even before I started doing the Vegas sports scene with Vegas Rob. Vegas Rob is more versed in the Vegas Golden Knights than I am. But I do root for the Vegas Golden Knights when they're not playing the Kings or if it's affecting the Kings. That's I want to put that out there. But it's just Connor McDavid's just so good. It's unbelievable. Just another level for that guy. So they're able to take the Oilers out in 6 games. Really, really impressed. Really impressive. And they head on to Dallas. And John Fry says to Adam Glenn, happy birthday, Adam Glenn. There you go. Adam Glenn's now 65 years old. He's ready for AARP. So game 1 against Cincinnati. I was thinking of that old TV show. Was it WKRP in Cincinnati, whatever the hell it is? I don't know. Game 1 against the Dallas Stars. Dallas, all season they were near the top of the Western Conference. There's for a little while there in the first half of the season, they were actually in first place in the Western Conference. Kind of fell back to the middle of the pack, and then near the end of the season, started getting a little bit hotter, creeping up a little bit in the standings. Adam Glenn says 44. You old as dirt, Adam Glenn. 44. So the Stars, they kick off the scoring in period 1. Jason Robertson scored a goal with an assist from Ruby Hintz. Vegas then tied it back up in the second period with a goal by William Karlsson. Let me turn the page so I can tell you who he had an assist from, because I like to put the points out there. From an assist by Whitecloud and Roy, or Wah, I should say Wah. The Kings have Roy. The Golden Knights have Wah. They're spelled the same, but whatever. Wah. Get the French out of your mouth there, Frenchie. Wah. Anyway, so then Karlsson gives the Golden Knights the lead in the third period, 2-1 with his second goal of the game, assisted by Martinez and Pietrangelo. Dallas tied it up in the third with at 2-2 with the goal by Hintz, his second point of the game, assist by Pavelski and Robertson. Vegas then takes the lead over again in the third period. A crazy-ass third period. They take the lead again, 3-2, goal by Teddy Bluger, assist by Colasar and Whitecloud, another assist by Whitecloud. Dallas ties it up again in the third period. I think it was with I think less than 2 minutes to go. I could be wrong with that. Jamie, I think it's Jamie Bond, assist by Pavelski and Hintz with his third point. Then it goes to OT. And real quick there in OT, I think it's a minute and a half, minute 43 in, minute 45 in, something like that. Brett Howden scores a minute. There we go. I have it written down. A minute 35 in. Assist from Stone and Stevenson. So the goal by Howden. What was it? It was a shot. I think it was a shot. It ricocheted behind the goalie, behind Edinger. If I remember correctly, I think it ricocheted behind Edinger. He slid to that side. I think Howden got the rebound behind the net from a ricochet. How did it go? I think Edinger got spun around. So he's facing Howden. Howden was gonna shoot or pass, and I think Edinger started turning. I think it was, and Howden ended up shooting. I think Edinger thought he was going to pass it because the way he was turning, I don't know why he just wouldn't stay in the position you were. I felt like that probably gave him the best position. If he was going to shoot it from behind the net, facing him probably gave him the best position to actually, field that puck and do something with it, either, like ice it or whatever. But for whatever reason, he started spinning it around like he was like he thought Howden was going to pass. Well, Howden shot it. I think it hit off of Edinger's left pad maybe, and kind of snuck in. So it was a wacky goal, a weird goal, but it's an overtime win. So either way, kudos to the Golden Knights taking game 1, 4-3 in overtime. Adam Glenn says, you're 43. I'm older and wiser. You're older and a smart ass. That's what. Bud Weiser. I'm a handsome 43, though, Adam. I look much younger than 43 with all the gray and the beard. Look at all that gray. I look like Dimebag Darrell. No, I don't. If anybody doesn't know, he was a guitarist for Pantera who was killed on stage years and years and years ago. I think it was probably the mid-2000s, maybe. Eileen says, you guys are all old. Thank God I'm younger at 42. Are you really 42, Eileen? I didn't know that. I don't think I've ever even seen a picture of you, Eileen. I think your profile picture is it's not something with Yankees. Is it something to do with the flag, maybe like red, white, and blue, or stars or something? I don't remember. So I have no idea. You could walk by me, I wouldn't know it was you, Eileen. So awesome job by the Golden Knights. The goalies for Dallas, Edinger, stopped 33 of 37 shots for an 8.92 save percentage. Aiden Hill, who got to start again, stopped 33 of 36 for a 9.17 save percentage. I'm not 100% sure who Aiden Hill's backup is. I don't know if Brossoit is still hurt. Do they have Quick suiting up as the backup? I'm going to have to do some sleuthing. I'm going to sleuth my ass off and figure this out. So now we're going to move on from the hockey side of things to I forgot to put up the game 1 versus Dallas thing there. God damn it. The Oakland Athletics moved to the Trop? I thought they weren't moving there. So originally, the Oakland A's were moving to the opposite side of the strip, up from Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play, and now that was they went with a different deal now, a cheaper deal, a more friendlier deal for the city. So let me read off what I have written down here so I didn't mess it up. It says A's have reached an agreement with Bally's and Gaming and Leisure Properties to build a potential stadium on the Tropicana Hotel site along the Strip. So I don't think that's Bally's, the casino. I think that's Bally's Entertainment. That's a huge entertainment thing now. It seems like they're owning all sorts of like networks and streaming services. Bally's is getting very big, it seems like. I'm hearing the name a lot more with sports. So it's supposed to be a 30,000 seat stadium on a 35-acre site. To build it, $1.5 million, and they're going to ask for $400 million from the city of Las Vegas. So with the other site, it was going to be more than that. There's going to be more going on the site. It was a bigger site. This is 35 acres. I think the other site was like 49 or 50 acres. It was going to be more. The price tag was going to be higher with the other site. But like I said, I think they were building hotels with it and like other stuff with it. But I think this site is just going to be a stadium. They were asking for $500 million with the other site. Now it's $400 million. They were supposed to vote on it. I don't know if they did or didn't. I didn't see that anywhere. But they're hoping to break ground next year to start working on it, start building it. Their lease with the Coliseum in Oakland is up next year, after next year. So it's also said, the article also said that the Athletics could be playing the 25 and 26 seasons in Las Vegas ballpark where their AAA affiliate, the Aviators, play currently. What does that mean for the Aviators? I don't know. Does that mean the Aviators will play somewhere else? Does that mean they'll work their schedule around the major league schedule? I have no idea. I have no idea what it means. I don't know what the rules for that are. I don't know if there's rules that major league team and a minor league team can't be in the same city. I thought I heard something like that a while ago. If that's true, I have no idea. But so that's where we're at with the Las Vegas A's. I guess I assume they're going to keep the same name. I can't see how they wouldn't keep the same name. Las Vegas Athletics, Las Vegas A's. I think it'd be foolish to change the name. It's an established name. They could do different things with that name, especially being Las Vegas. You figure the A's card has a big ass A on it. So, I mean, there's stuff that they can do with that. So that's where we're looking at for the Athletics going to Las Vegas. That's a timetable they have set out right now. Hopefully, for Las Vegas' sake, they're a better team before then. They start rebuilding better. Because like I said this my last show 2 weeks ago, the A's were not I won't say perennial, but they were in the playoffs more often than not. Even with their payroll, what it is. I mean, you see. I mean, the Rays. Look at the Tampa Bay Rays. I mean, their payroll is minuscule compared to like my Metropolitans. And, they're the best team in baseball right now, even though the Mets took 2 or 3 against them. And so it can be done. And the A's have shown it in the past that they can win with that type of payroll. But like I said, I feel like they were pulling a major league on everybody. They were tanking to move, and it worked. Nobody was going to the games. Like I said a few episodes ago, you had somebody getting a knobber in the upper decks. They got banned, but he already got the knobber, so what does it matter? So whatever. I don't know. So here's one thing I don't understand. So let's say you go to one of these Oakland Athletics games. Oakland Athletics are another place that doesn't sell well, like a Miami Marlins or I think Tampa Bay. I don't know if they still do or not. They didn't used to draw all that well, even though they're a winning product. So you go to one of these games, and you have an upper deck ticket, but nobody else is there. There's an attendance of, let's say, 7,000 people in a 45,000 seat stadium. Do you still stay all the way up in the nosebleeds, or can you move down? I mean, that's bullshit if you have to stay up there, in my opinion. All those seats down there are not being used. You know what I mean? You should be able to move down. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming to take that seat, especially after the third inning or something like that. If you want to give it a little bit of time, third inning, everybody come on down, wave them down, come on down, people. It's pick your seats. That's what I think. I wonder how that works. I couldn't imagine being the sixth inning. Barely anybody's there. You see all those open seats. I'm going to go down and get closer. You go down, you got the usher there. No, this ticket's for all the way up there. I just can't see that happening. That'd be a kick in the nuts, I'll tell you that. So real quick before I move on, I got another sponsor read here. Let me pull it up for you. Here we go. J. Fine Law, attorney Big Al. You can reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine's his name. They deal in motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. You can call Jason 24/7 directly at 267-962-4895, or you can call Maiko Spencer at 267-303-7324 for a free consultation. They now have 3 office locations throughout Pennsylvania and the awesome state, the Garden State of New Jersey. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania location is 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120 in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The phone number there is 267-888-2980. Their New Jersey location, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 3 Greensward Lane, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. And last but not least, out there in the Steel City, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Their location is 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The phone number there, 412-365-8151. So give them a call if you have any claims. Call for a free consultation. Call our boy Maiko, Paul Spencer, or call Jason 24/7 directly for any motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims. And I'll tell you what, tell them the Bat Fry sent you. Tell them Kenny Fry sent you from the Vegas sports scene. Let them know. Say, hey, the Bat Fry sent me. I need help. All right. So finally, last but not least, we have the Las Vegas Aces. The Lady Aces open up in defense of their WNBA championship from last season. A lot of controversy, a lot of turmoil swirling around the team right now with the coach Becky Hammon being suspended for the whole I think it was the workplace inequality workplace or something like that, unequal opportunity workplace stuff. I don't remember the exact wording or terminology for it, but excuse me. And Maiko Spencer says a 41-point win. Absolutely, dominant in today's game. Actually, it seemed like they're probably sending a message to everybody else saying, you know what, we're pissed off about how this offseason went. We're the champions, and we got crapped on all offseason. That's what it's kind of felt like. If you haven't followed the Las Vegas Aces, a lot of stuff, coming out about them, coaching, and I don't know if Mark Davis directly or not. I can't remember the player's name, but she was traded away, and then she started leaking all this information and stuff like that. How she was treated unfairly and stuff. How the unequal pay, or it was something with the pay also. Like they were doing the contracts for one amount, but then paying something other, in a different way or something like that. I don't remember the exact story with it, but it was a whole lot of stuff swirling around the Las Vegas Aces since their championship win. I know Becky Hammon was supposed to have an interview with an NBA team. I don't remember which team it was. For some reason, I feel like Detroit Pistons, but that doesn't feel right now. I don't know who it was. So anyway, they won 105-64, like our boy Maiko said, a 41-point win over the Storm in the Commissioner's Cup. So the leading scorers for Las Vegas Aces with their big win was Jackie Young leading away with 23 points and 5 boards, as well as Casey Plum, 23 points and 5 boards. And, of course, everybody knows this name, Candace Parker. Even if you're not a fan of women's basketball, everybody's heard of Candace Parker, a terrific basketball player throughout college and stuff like that. I think she played at Tennessee. I could be wrong. She had 12 points and 4 boards. They're loaded. Aja Wilson. Yep, I heard her name. Darren Waller's wife, Kelsey Plum. Yep, 23. I didn't know that was Darren Waller's wife. To be honest with you, 23 points, 5 boards, and the GOAT, Candace Parker. Just mentioned her. Yep, 12 points, 4 boards. Relatively quiet. But when you win by 41, you don't need to be loud. So terrific start to the season for the Vegas Aces, Las Vegas Aces. We'll give updates every Saturday night, at least every Saturday night that I'm on. When Rob comes back, we'll be giving updates on the Aces as to where they're at and what they're doing. And Maiko says yes, Tennessee under Pat Summitt. Okay, that's why I thought Candace Parker was a Tennessee kid. But we know how that goes. I think one thing is, I'm way off. A lot of times way off. I'm going to go ahead and that's all I got. So I'm going to go ahead and put up our shows, our show listings here. The next time I'm on is Wednesdays at 10 a.m. With the Bat Cave, talking New York Mets baseball. A little bit of Kings hockey, if there's any news. Right now, it's kind of slow with them being out of the playoffs. And I'm going to start something new. I'm going to do a small entertainment segment where I'm going to watch either start watching a series, a TV series, or I'm going to watch a movie. And I'll let everybody know what movie I'm going to watch. If you want to go watch the movie also, maybe you've seen it already. I'm going to talk about it a little bit, just a quick segment, nothing big, just something to fill in a little bit of space there. So my next show is, like I said, Wednesday at 10 a.m. with the Bat Cave. So then we have Monday, 6 p.m., the Sully Squad. Like Joe Sullivan checked in earlier. Like I said, Sean Kilrain's on the Sully Squad every once in a while. And Monday at 8 p.m., you have the Joystick Junkies. Tuesdays at 8 p.m., Extra Innings. Wednesday, 10 a.m., the Bat Cave. Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m., Dem 215 Boys. Wednesdays at 8 p.m., the College Football Frenzy. Like I said, currently is on a hiatus right now. I think it returns in July. If I'm wrong, I'm sure Maiko will let me know. I believe College Football Frenzy returns in July. Thursdays at 6 p.m., at 8 p.m., the 4 for 4 Locker Room Podcast, talking all Philly sports, Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, Eagles. Thursdays at 10 p.m., Fight Club 215. I think currently they're on hiatus as well. I think they'll just be covering when there's big UFC events. I think they're going to start just covering that. More to come on that later. Fridays at 8 p.m., the Big Blue Power Hour. Stacy was on here earlier. We were talking about the Giants and Raiders game. You can check them out Fridays at 8 p.m., the Big Blue Power Hour. And Saturdays, of course, you're watching it now, 10 p.m., the Vegas Sports Scene. Next Saturday, I will not be on. I will be away Memorial Weekend. I will be soccer tournament and camping. So I will not be live next Saturday. I may try to get on another time because I don't like missing shows. If I have to move it, I'll talk to the powers that be and see if I can move it. And once again, coming up very soon, the Atomic Drop podcast, talking wrestling, June 16th. It's going to be every Friday, 10:30 p.m. Myself and Cowboy Dave. And the times that I cannot be on, we'll have a guest host fill in with Cowboy Dave. And talking WWF old school and a little bit of new school wrestling. College Football Frenzy returns June 7th. So that's just right around the corner. June 7th, college football returns. And I'm sure they'll be talking about the rankings. And, the biggest news of them all is NCAA football coming back to video games. And it's going to have players' names and stuff like that and all that good stuff. So I can't wait for that. I used to love playing those college football games. I'd make my own college up. The one I made up was Freiburg Tech. We were the Freiburg Tech Vikings. We were a techie school, so we weren't very good. But, sometimes, you catch lightning in a bottle. You never know. Virginia Tech, sometimes they play all right. Texas Tech, they have their moments. Georgia Tech, a long time ago. But, yeah, Freiburg Tech, the Vikings, we were all right. We broke the top 25 a couple times, but, we'd get knocked out by like a Tennessee or an Alabama and then, had to creep back up and we'd end up getting like the Snot Bowl or something like that. I don't remember. So it was one of the older games. But, yeah, I always had fun with that. That was always a lot of fun to play those games. So that's all I got for the show this week. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate everybody's comments and everybody viewing and, having fun with it. No matter the comment, whether it's something that's on topic, off topic, I don't care. I'll talk about it. It's all good with me. So make sure you check me out again Wednesday at 10 a.m. on the Bat Cave, talking New York Mets baseball and whatever else. And we have one more comment here before I roll. Maiko says, man, I'm stoked. The atomic bomb. Is it the atomic bomb or the atomic drop? I feel like it's the atomic drop, but I could be wrong. I said the atomic bomb first too, but I'm going to have to go back and look at it. I feel like it's the atomic drop. So that's all I got. Thank you for checking it out, and I'll see everybody Wednesday morning. Peace.